you.
Hello, my name is James Palacic. I'm also calling to talk about the dryer pool. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and like this winter, I've had a major flare-up. And being able to go in the pool just is amazing how much it can help you stretch out. I don't know if anybody's realizes how much chronic pain bothers people. Just think about having like a tack in your shoe. You can go through and take your shoe off, the tack goes away, that pain goes away. But when you have arthritis, it's there all the time. You can't just make it go away, and this really does help. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
We had discussed this morning at the yoga class. If there's any way to see if our insurance companies will kick in towards the cost. Because my doctor wanted me to go for physical therapy in a pool, and that's what this is doing. So I don't know if we should check with our insurance companies to see if they'll cover some of the cost for you or not. You know. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have a great evening.
You
God
too.
bless.
Thank you so much for coming in. Is that anyone else for citizen comments? All right. Moving on to 36718, review and recommendations, Board of Education. We'll start with Mrs. Madison.
Actually, while we're on the subject, this rumor keeps coming and going.
Oh.
What is the rumor on the Dyer pool? Because it comes and it goes. And it's like just when I think it's, as far as I'm aware, it's been a rumor that it's closing. There's been no real discussion of it closing. It's a rumor. So I don't know where you're hearing that we're closing it, but no. There's not been any. There's
Okay.
not been anything of that I'm aware of.
Oh.
Is there?
I was told by somebody that one of the
Sir, okay, this is, yeah, we'll talk to you afterwards. We can't have the dialect back and forth, but I understand the passion. Okay, you can,
Is there anything about that?
no.
There hasn't been anything brought
No,
forth, has
we
there?
haven't had any discussion on it. You are correct.
Thank you.
Is that all you wanted to?
Yeah,
anything
I
else?
think we've had a big, long filled night.
Okay.
I just wanted confirmation for my own peace of mind for
Oh, okay.
information that there is no information on there on. of
No,
that.
there hasn't been any discussion.
Thank you.
Mr. Buckaloo?
I'll start by saying that there are a couple of people up here on this board who can empathize with you folks in your arthritis. It does hurt. It does hurt.
All the time.
I had the pleasure of attending the Spring Institute in Kalamazoo 2 weeks ago. Mrs. Medella and I drove up there together, and to our surprise, when we got there, Mrs. Curry was there, Dr. Townsend was there, and we were able to share a table and listen to a number of presentations. And I'd like to share two of those presentations with you, or at least a brief synopsis of them. The first was a review of the role of school boards. And it came as no surprise that the first thing that was said is that our primary job, in fact, our only real legally required job, is to go out and find the very best candidate to be our school superintendent. We think we've done that. But that's number one. There are some secondary roles that we need to perform as well. One of them is oversight. It's our job as a board to make sure that the goals of the board and of the district are being advanced, and to the best of our ability, I think we try to do that. And the other thing that I took away from that presentation was that we needed to be a positive voice for our school district with the community. We need to celebrate the good things that are going on in our school district. And I'm thinking about the celebrations that we had earlier tonight. It's got to be one of the easiest jobs on God's green earth, celebrating all the great things that happen in Wayne Westland. Our students, their accomplishments at the national level, at the state level. We have scholarship athletes. We have musical excellence. I was able to see both our musicals this last week. Enjoyed both of them immensely. So the easiest job we've got is saying all of the good things that go on in this school district. It's fantastic. Another of our presentations asked us to explore the theme and to kind of delineate between the terms equity and equality. And simply put, equality is when our school district gives each of our students the same resources. And that's kind of good, I guess. But equity is so much better. Equity is when we give our students the amount of resources that they need to compete and to be successful. And I have to say to you, and I know the board shares this with me, we're all about making sure that our district provides equity to all of our students. We want all of our students to have what it takes to compete and to be successful to the fullest of their abilities. And those are the things that I'd like to share with you tonight. And thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Buffalo. Ms. Hines?
Yes, I'd like to congratulate the children who did the Pledge of Allegiance today, all the teams. We have excellent teams. Wayne Western is a school district of excellence, and I definitely would like to, even if we have certain areas that we need to really say, like, this school is good for this, and that to really bring more children to the area, because we have some talented students. Congratulate all the students that won the awards for the JROTC basketball. And like he said, too, with the plays, they were phenomenal. I was so surprised. They were awesome. Our kids have some serious talent. I also like to congratulate the principals who have their new position, and the people who also have the new position of payroll and transportation as well. And one thing I did like that we had one of our study sessions about how can the board relate better to the community and certain rules and that people can kind of understand. So I like that we're going to do more of that, and even introducing our new superintendent to the community. That's very important because people need to know and see her, and we have as a board we have to support her. Also, I like the teacher from John Glenn thinking outside the box. That is awesome. We have to have our kids enjoy education, especially biology, the sciences, and just thinking outside the box and having communication. So I like that type of thinking. And then the celebration, Franklin, they have a math and science on May the 8th. Yeah, so they have so many, even in history night, they're having that over at Franklin. And just to go there and to go back, and it's nice to take your kids to these different events so they can really see those. And then they have the resource fair coming up in Norway at Jefferson Barnes, and that's going to be May the 9th. And that's important for families who need help, who need resources. They're going to be there. And that's going to be May the 9th at Jefferson Barnes from 5:30 to 7:30 in the Wayne Rotary. You got the Bright Futures, and they give like giveaways for bikes, food, family, entertainment, fun. So that's something really nice. And prom is coming up for the high schoolers, and graduation's coming up, and a lot of award ceremonies. So parents, go and look at your children's calendars. Go, participate and be involved in the children's lives. And other than that, it was a great meeting. I really like seeing all the people and the excitement today. So it was awesome.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Dr. Weaver?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Again, congratulations to those who have been accepted to positions in the district, and also the many student groups that were honored tonight. I just want to say I'm looking forward to the honors convocations that are coming up, underclassmen award ceremonies, and finally, graduation coming up. And look forward to seeing all my colleagues there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Cox?
As Sally said, it's been a long meeting, but I did want to say, Carol, how happy I was that you pointed or said what you said to Mr. Cooper. Indeed, he is a true resource in this school district, and I know there are so many talented people that we can celebrate, and certainly Mr. Cooper's one of them.
Yes.
Those are my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. Mrs. Medill?
Well, I'm so impressed, as always, with the students of Wayne Westland. And you got a chance to see some of the accomplishments. We have many, many more that are sitting out in our buildings that we don't always hear about at our level. But we know that things are going on, whether they're from the spelling bee or whether they're from JROTC or whether they play a sport or they're just part of a chess team. We are proud of all of our students and the accomplishments. For most of these students, this is above and beyond their daily schoolwork. This is something that they do in the evening or after school and requires more of their time, and they are still able to maintain good grades and get a good education while they are participating in these other skills and talents. I had a chance to go to both plays, and I think I heard several people up here say what talent we have in our theater and music departments. And yes, we do. You saw some of them from the percussion team. But we also have our elementary kids from Edison who participated in the play at Wayne High, which was Seussical this year. And again, building their theater program from pulling in our younger students to get them to appreciate the fine arts. We have concerts all over the place coming up, whether they're in elementary school or whether they are high school instrumental or choir concerts. Those are all coming up along with all the graduation activities. And by the way, Dr. Holt, on your right hand, remove your rings before you go to convocation. Yeah. Otherwise, you will be carrying around a bucket of ice to put your hand in after the events, because it never fails. You get up there and some kid will squeeze and shake your arm right off the socket. So take your rings off before you do that. It'll save some of the pain that you will have. Otherwise, we will have the Bengay station set up behind Steens for those of us with that arthritis, right? Excuse me, it is open enrollment at Head Start. So if you have a kid who will qualify for their program, please give them a call. But we have other preschool programs available also. If you do not qualify for Head Start, we've got a Great Start program, we've got Sparky, we've got Sunshine and Rainbows, we've got all kinds of programs for our preschoolers. That now's the time to start looking into these and apply. Like we mentioned earlier, like Dr. Holt said, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. Coming out of a classroom with a couple degrees in education, it is the hardest job you will ever do, but it is the most rewarding job you will ever do. We had a young lady standing up here from Edison with the last name of Mattioli. I had 2 Mattiolis when I was teaching at Tonquish a bazillion years ago, and the school's no longer there. And more than likely, coming out of the same neighborhood that Edison is in, they've got to be related to the kids that I had a long time ago. What I hate to find out, and I didn't want to ask, is that if it was their parent, because sometimes I find out it's their grandparent. And I've stopped asking now, even though I would be interested in finding out if this is one of my former students, to find out that it's the grandparents I had. Ugh, that hurts.
They're telling you your time is up.
But I do want to thank all of our teachers, administrators. Great job. Keep up the good work, because at the end of your career, when you look back, you can say, I did that, or I taught that. That kid knows how to read because I taught them how to read in my classroom. Or that kid can go to an engineering school because we worked on those math skills until we drummed it into them. It's, this is the formula you use. Don't make up your own formula. This is the formula. And you were talking about commas. Boy, kids learn commas and they start using them like they're out of a salt shaker. There's commas everywhere, and you're going, no. Let's go back to none at all. So it's a little bittersweet to look at our board packet here and to see names of people that I worked with who are retiring. Yes, you've done a great job. You've earned it. I will miss you. I really will, because you were the reason that we have a great school district. But knowing that there will be new shiny faces coming in from colleges and bringing their enthusiasm to our students, it is bittersweet. But hopefully they will enjoy their retirement. Just don't run for school board. It's not the fun you think it is. So with that said, I want to wish everybody a good end of the school year. Make sure you're safe, because I realize the snow has finally melted. but kids run out and dart out into the traffic, so please be careful out there. We don't want anybody to have accidents with our kids.
Thank you, Mrs. Madell. Before I do my comments, Dr. Holt you said you forgot to add something.
I did. I just forgot to mention really quickly that I went to see a couple of teachers at Galileo. And while I didn't, again, one of those programs where Mrs. Watson and others say you need to go, we had some amazing educators that showcased their talents it really just shows how our teachers are leaders throughout the organization. This is a teacher leader program, and not everybody that's a teacher wants to be an administrator. Some just want to lead from their seat as a teacher, and this was an amazing program, so I wanted to give it some kudos and acknowledge those teachers, and I had forgotten to do that. My apologies.
Thank you, Dr. Holt. That's okay. As usual, by the time it gets to me, everything has been said, so I ditto to all my colleagues. But I do want to share two things with you. We're going to have a calendar change, so mark your calendars. In order to allow effective district operations, summer vacation schedules for the staff and the board, we'll have one meeting in June, which will be June 18th at 7 p.m., instead of the two meetings that we had previously scheduled for that day. So we normally would have our regular board meeting, we were going to have a study session, and then we have our budget meeting. But June 18th would give us enough time to have the budget, and we could do the budget meeting along with the regular meeting, so that way we won't have to have so many meetings in June. Also, the July 16th meeting will be rescheduled to July 30th at 7 p.m., and that's also to accommodate vacation time and adequate planning. With that being said, like I said, mark your calendars. I also want to share my good news. My daughter, Raven, graduated from Wayne Memorial in 2014 with honors, I think like cum laude or something like that. And yesterday, our family had the privilege to go up to Lansing, to Michigan State, and watch her walk across the stage with her Bachelor's of Fine Arts. So we're really excited, and just to let you know that Wayne Westland turns out some awesome students. And so I have a testimony to that, and to watch her walk across that stage was so bittersweet. You would have thought that when she graduated and I gave the graduation speech, I would have been crying. It had nothing to do like yesterday. As soon as she walked out, I just started bawling. I couldn't believe it. And Dwayne's like, okay, you're just being drama now. But but it was just something. And when I talked to her today, she said her emotions are all over the place. And it's kind of because reality is hidden in, and now you're an adult, and you have to do adult things, but also trying to decide what that next move is. But because of the education she received here in Wayne Westland, I know that whatever she decides to do, she'll be very successful in it. So with that being said, I'll take a motion. Oh, thank you all for taking time out your evening for joining us. I know it was kind of long, but it's good. It's a good thing to have feel-good moments, and having those children come out today and be recognized is a feel-good moment. So at this time, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Madison.
Second.
I thought maybe you guys didn't want to go home for a second. Supported by Mr. Buckaloo. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Have a good night.